Okay, so thank you all for joining us today. The path to success for independent high street entrepreneurs is never a straight line or a one-size-fits-all story. But there are a number of capabilities and practices that every business can put in place to accelerate their journey towards profit growth and new funding this year. Over the next half an hour or so, we'll be introducing some of the most important things that you can do to reduce any overspend, maximize your revenue opportunities, and secure whatever additional funding you're looking for. If you have any questions, anytime, just drop them into the chat or get in touch with us. My name is Alex Schlagman. I'm one of the founding partners of SaveTheHighStreet.org. And let's get started. For over 5 years now, Save the High Street has been studying what it takes to succeed on the high street. We've been doing this with input from thousands of local independents at every stage of the journey, as well as dozens of leading experts in different domains across the industry, some of whom we'll be hearing more from today. We've delved deeply this year, working directly for hundreds of business owners, and through these experiences, we've found there are 7 key steps that bring together the most important things that high street businesses can do to get more money more quickly. Eliminate overspend, stand out from the crowd, get found more online, boost your local footfall, delight every customer, accelerate your growth, and get access to the right funding. I'm delighted to be joined today by Paul Newell, Laura Harris, Nilsson Hall, Julie Holden, John Abatti, Roy Akrudis, and David Whiteley, 7 of our leading experts, each with tons of experience and a proven track record of success in one of these 7 areas. And for many of you watching today, this is the next step, or even in some cases, the first step in your journey with JO by Save the High Street. Because this week, applications open for a new intake onto JO's High Street Business Accelerator. We're going to be working closely with a limited number of high street businesses, doing everything we can to reduce overspend in your business, increase your sales both quickly and sustainably, and help you unlock whatever funding you need for 2023. We'll audit your business across all the key drivers of profitability. We'll find out what needs to be done and help you organize when and make it happen every step of the way. We'll be like a new business partner and a whole new team at your fingertips, all rolled into one. And if you're watching this today and you haven't applied yet, you can find out more at joinjo.com/accelerator. And if you're watching this today and you're getting started on the accelerator, you'll be hearing more from various people on the team today. And I'm excited to see what we can achieve together. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Paul Newell, who'll kick off the 7 steps by sharing his top recommendations for eliminating overspend. Paul, over to you.
Many thanks, Alex, and good morning to everyone. Just a quick brief hello. My name is Paul Newell. I have managed many operations for high street retailers, as well as supporting smaller local independent businesses over the years, for far too many years, and I'd like to admit. However, today I'm going to talk about the key top line on eliminating any overspend that business may have. This is obviously key to the success and profit of a business. So we'll kick off with utility bills. This is very topical at the moment and absolutely crucial to keep on top of. But when was the last time that you compared them? So for example, the obvious one to target is the electricity and gas bills, which are going through the roof at the moment. And we have partners that can help. You just simply need to upload your current bills to JoinJo, and our partners will search and come back to you within 48 hours with a recommended and best rate available to you within that area. This is key. I can speak from experience over the last couple of months. We've been working with a brand and opening a store, and our partners managed to save £4,000 a year in utility spend on electricity versus the outgoing client. Another thing to look at here as well is telephone and broadband. This is something that really gets overlooked by retailers. We just continue, we do it at home as well. We continue with our usual supplier. Again, we have specialists that can supply broadband and phone package deals that will speed your connection, which will obviously help your online business as much as anything else, give you total accessibility through an app as well. So when you're not in your store, you are able to still pick up your calls. And this again will save you money. And again, with the same project that we were working on, we saved £250 a year on the previous outgoing tenant. Another one that we've got is rent and leases. Now, rent, obviously a huge expense to all businesses, but are you on the best deal you can be on? You may be on a current lease or come into a review stage with the landlord, or you may want a new location. Landlords are far more willing now to support businesses to maintain occupancy, and we can help with this. Again, simply contact us with your current details and your current deal, and we will work on the best available deal and rate available to you. We have a huge network with landlords, and we may even have a relationship with your current landlord. Rates as well. Are you getting the available help that is there for you to keep that cost to a minimum? Because these are two of the huge expenses. Now, operations, that's a very broad subject to talk about. So and the list is endless. I'm just going to talk to you about two key areas just to kick off whilst we're on this webinar. First one is people. Payroll is a huge expense, and having an effective staff scheduling model is key to sales and profit. Having the staff in at the correct time across the week will increase sales and productivity, but may also save you money by reducing hours in quieter periods. Just to give you reviewing trading times, working out when you take your most money, when you need your productivity to be driven. Okay, 10 hours a week over the course of a year is roughly a £5,000 saving. And many businesses overlook this continue appraisal of the payroll spend just to become more effective and eliminate overspending payroll. The last one I'm going to talk about today is just product. And this is a broad in terms of operation. It's understanding and managing your stock. It's so key. Do you have an effective inventory and stock management system that gives you the right information for you to make decisions at the right time about your stock holding? For example, are you working on the right week's cover for your business? You do not want too much cash tied up in overstock sitting in stock rooms. Do you know your best sellers, and can you get back into them before the stock runs out to maintain your sales? Are you managing your markdown spend and turning old or seasonal stock into cash by promoting it and selling it and giving you money to invest in new product? Are you getting the same price and margin versus competitors on your product? Do you look at what they're selling their similar product for? If not, this could be because they've reviewed their suppliers and have got better deals. Suppliers are always looking for new accounts and are potentially willing to give you very good terms. Again, we have a team that can support with all of these points and help to eliminate overspend and make you more profitable. That's just a brief synopsis on 3 points. I have 3 to 5 minutes. I think I'm in the time, Alex. And now I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to hand you over to Laura.
Thank you, Paul. Welcome, Laura.
Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Laura Harris. I've been working with turning data into insight for the last 20 years or so for different brands and different industry sectors, but mainly retail, trying to help sort of brands make better decisions using their data. Today I'm talking about how to stand out from the crowd, and specifically the importance of market insights, and then using that market insight to help kind of create your brand, your elevator pitch, and to sort of use, and then finally to use this information to identify potential gaps in the market and opportunities. So one of the fundamental building blocks to standing out is doing your market insight. And by market insight, I mean knowing your customer. Who is your customer? Who's shopping with you? What do they look like? What are they buying? When are they buying? What, by time of day, day of week? Are they loyal repeat customers? Why? Ultimately, trying to get to the answer of why they're shopping you. By knowing your customers, the other next part is kind of knowing your competitors. What are your competitors doing? What are they doing that's different to you? Who's shopping your competitors? Is there overlap between you and your competitors? Is there an opportunity there that they're doing that you're not doing? Then the final kind of part of the market insight, the main final part of your market insight is understanding the market. What is the potential opportunity? Who's shopping? Who's shopping you, but who's walking past but not shopping you? Understanding who those people are, what they look like, what the local population look like relative to your customer. Who's walking past but not coming in? How big is that opportunity? Where are the hotspots and best pitches in town? Understanding kind of the dynamics of the marketplace is fundamental to kind of getting a kind of view of your market insight. By understanding this, by kind of getting a good gauge when we're using market insight, you can then create your elevator pitch, which essentially is about creating your brand image. What makes you unique? What it is about your business, your store that is unique relative to what else is in the marketplace? By understanding this can help clarify your strengths. It gives you confidence to market yourself in a way that's that talks about how unique you are. It helps define your market and your marketing, and helps optimize. It can help optimize your resource and stock as well if you're very kind of if you've got true clarity about what you're trying to do and what your customers want from you. Finally, talking by using the market insights, the final point is talking about was the gaps in the market. What are the potential opportunities for your brand, for your business, to get moving forwards? Is how can you, with your current customer base, is there an opportunity to make those customers more loyal, to repeat visits, to keep coming back to you? Is there something that if you understood from your market insight that you could be doing better for your current customer base? Is there an opportunity with customers who are not shopping you by creating some sort of opportunity for them to come in, something that can attract new customers into your store? Is there an opportunity with understanding your customers, finding up people who look like your customers who are not shopping you and target them more effectively with kind of local marketing or advertising in the right place or communicating in the right place to talk to those people? Sorry, excuse me. And yeah, so that and then is there an opportunity with site location? Are you currently off pitch? Is there an opportunity to move somewhere more on pitch or to attract more footfall to your pitch? What is the opportunity there? So yeah, they were the three main things I was going to talk about today. So thank you.
Thank
And
you,
I'll
Laura.
hand you over to Nielsen.
Yeah, over to you, Nielsen.
Thanks, Laura. There's some super interesting insights there. So my name's Nielsen Hall. I'm a digital marketing and e-commerce consultant, and I'm here to talk to you today about how you can be found online. And I think first and foremost, and it sounds super simple, but you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be visible. So the first thing is to make sure you own your Google listing. You need to make sure you have the correct postcode and address, and more importantly, making sure that you've got some fantastic standout images that really represent your brand and what you stand for. 57% of all online purchases are actually influenced offline. So it's a really big way in which you can get that engagement. Also, 66% of all product purchases now start with an e-retailer or a marketplace, and that's a really significant shift. Whereas before, search engines were do or die for online, now consumers are accessing brands in a varied way. And you can piggyback off some of these bigger e-retailers who have opened up a lot of their inventory to other bricks and mortar stores who can then you can use their inventory to purchase products. Social media. We all know how big kind of social media is, and it's really important that you have a presence on all of the key social channels. And also now there's almost a consumer expectation that you should be able to buy products within 1 or 2 clicks of seeing them. So what a lot of these social platforms have done is, again, opened up a lot of their inventory and allowed you to place products within certain posts and buy them directly from that particular post. Again, giving customers, another reason to buy your product in a really quick and efficient way. Lastly, managing reputation. We know that things like Trustpilot stores make a massive difference in, how customers perceive, your brand and your shop online. So making it easy for customers that have had a great experience to, write that down online is going to always influence purchasing decisions. And the final one, and this is a more advanced technique that you should be using, is making sure that your inventory and stock level data is linked up to any online presence. Because a really bad customer experience is if someone sees a product available, goes to buy it, goes through all of the different stages of the purchasing process, and then they can't get it. So making sure that you have your retail and your media working together is really, really important. So without further ado, I hope that was helpful. And I'm now going to hand over to Julie, who's going to talk to you about footfall.
Thanks very much, Nielsen. Thank you. And hello to everyone. I'm Julie Holden. I'm the Community Director for SaveTheHighStreet.org. I've had the pleasure of supporting high street businesses for over a decade and also working with place level partners with a view to tapping into opportunities to help. This program, this accelerator, is an extension for many of you to the support that's been made available through our partners. I've been asked to update on a few things to help boost local footfall. So a few of these initiatives, there's absolutely loads can be done locally, but in terms of 3 key ones that I want to talk about, one being local collaborations, secondly looking at street campaigns, and thirdly a little bit about local champions. So firstly, in terms of local collaborations, it's really important to get to know your local high street, your own neighbouring businesses, understand the traders that are either side of your unit and the ones a little bit further down the road, understanding what's on offer, but also what's a good fit for your own brand and for your own products. It can very often feel a little bit like a competitor, even if there are similar products being sold, but actually working more closely and understanding how you can cross-sell for one another is really important and can really strengthen a high street and strengthen the relationships. So working closely with your neighbouring business is very important. But beyond that, actually getting to know your own local area, understanding who the key influencers are in your local area, who are the people that get things done, and having a really good relationship with them, finding out what are the topics and subjects that are important at the moment for everybody. And thirdly, really finding some common ground, working together, identifying potential campaigns that you could work on together. I'm very close to a few places up and down the country, and it's great when local collaborations work very well and traders start to get excited about potential campaigns that they can run together. I'm seeing some really interesting stuff coming through now for ideas, very innovative ideas around Christmas campaigns, and these are all driven at grassroots level by the businesses themselves, nothing to do with funded support or council initiatives or other local initiatives. It's all about the traders themselves and how they can work together to increase and drive customer spend. So thinking about local promotions, which then takes me on to the street campaigns. In addition to the digital opportunities that Nielsen mentioned, it's important to think about what can be done in your own local area as well. As I say, working with fellow traders, you can generate a lot of excitement and a lot of activity with street campaigns, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can use small leaflets and cards and posters, and really activate a street campaign very quickly. Maybe choose an event, a date, an occasion to mark, and also thinking about other street activities. We're working, I know, in one area where there's an initiative around painting the street with special washable paints or chalks that can that can wash away afterwards. Just something new and different to drive some activity in the streets. Also thinking about loyalty campaigns and loyalty cards, and shop window competitions as well. So there's lots you can do, and then tapping into local PR, whatever it is that you're doing. The local papers, local magazines are always hungry for stories, particularly if you can find some helpful images and photographs and something visible that people can see, which can then tap back into the digital campaigns. And then finally, in terms of local champions, I mentioned earlier, find out who the local champions are in your area, but why not be one? It's really important, if you've not already got a lot of activity going on, be that person, be the person that actually starts the conversation and gets some stuff done. I know that there's a phrase around busybodies do better, and it certainly can work out to be the case. So becoming connected with one another, becoming connected with your local councils, any business networking groups and others, the whole thing sort of feeds together and can help to boost local footfall in your area. I'll just now pass over to John, because I did mention windows. I know that that's a real passion for John. So over to you, John.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Julie. Yeah, my name is John. I'm a well-seasoned customer experience consultant, store designer, and visual merchandiser. I'm not sure everybody knows what a visual merchandiser is, but we're kind of the elves that come at night and make stores look fantastic. So from my experience of being a store designer and a visual merchandiser, I can tell you that physical retail is really a vital part of a now very multi-channel or retail environment. Even online brands, online only brands are now seeing the value of opening bricks and mortar shops. And delighting every customer is ultimately about driving sales in store and online. I mean, everything that a visual merchandiser does, we make things look beautiful, we make stores look beautiful, but that's really all for the customer, and that's is to help drive sales. But driving sales these days is a bit different than just designing, or making a store beautiful. It's really about giving them an experience, and I'll talk a bit about that in a second. So it's really important to create unforgettable and valued experiences, for your customers, that keeps them coming back, and very importantly, spreading the word. So kind of 3 tips I can give you on this subject, starting from the outside in. Let's start with the window display, the outside of your premises. People are walking by, they see lots of shops, or they're not even interested in shopping, but you can actually, stop them in their tracks. A good window display will get people to look. And a very good window display will get them to stop. An extremely good window display will get them to come in when they weren't planning to. So it's a lot more than just driving footfall, though. It's more than just getting people, in the door. It's about putting your best face forward, and to stand out amongst all the other, retail that's going on, and all the different levels of competition, whether that's online or offline. And the good way to stand out is to just be authentic and be, unique to yourself, and tell your story. Independent retailers can do this really well, because they're independent retailers, and usually there's a personality behind it. But what independents tend not to do is they don't really capitalize on this. They don't consider themselves like a brand and create a visual identity. You know, what that elevator pitch that you have, you know, how do you bring that to life in your store? And you can do all this with some simple foundations and guidance, which I'm quite happy to give. So going inside now, that's really about the experience I mentioned before. So what happens inside the store is now part of that customer journey, that experience that they're going to have. And it, like I said, it's not just shopping. You don't know how or when the customer is going to buy anything. They might just come in and browse, but that doesn't mean you lost a sale. You know, they could go immediately onto your social media and look at your Instagram, or they can go online, or later on in their heads, think, oh yeah, I really liked what I saw. And rather than go visit your store again, they might just look for you online and buy online. So you don't know if they're going to buy in store or online. So creating a retail environment that helps people remember you and remember your products is probably one of the most important things. And there's a few elements to having a good in-store experience, and they're quite basic from a visual merchandising store design point of view. And it's your store layout. It's how the customer navigates. It's how you tell stories, and it's how you deal with add-on sales. How do you merchandise products that someone may come in looking for a particular item, but then the way that you have things merchandised, I'm like, oh, I'll take that too, or that works with that, or you know, it's how do you increase your sales. And a lot of visual merchandising is about that. And then of course you want to rotate products or introduce new products, and how and where do they go, and how do you move things throughout the store, and where you put them is really an important part of that, because there are blind spots, you know, that customers may come in and like, oh, I never saw that before, and it's been in there for months, you know. So, and then another really important thing now in retail design is creating event spaces within your store. So it's really important to have events, workshops, invite people to come into the store for these different kinds of events. You know, have a folding table, folding chairs, make it easy to set this up quickly during the day or at the end of the day on the weekend. That's how an independent retailer can really do experiential retails, by having these type of these events. And then of course you can promote them online. It gives you good content for all your social media. So experiential retail is also really about customer loyalty now. It's about getting them to come back. And there are some basic foundations of customer loyalty. You can use both online and offline methods to do that. Collect emails. You ask people, is it okay if I sent you GPDR? You know, ask people if it's okay that you can email them, and then email them. Send them newsletters. Invite them to other events and promotions. You know, get their feedback. Not only online reviews, like Nielsen mentioned with Trustpilot and on social media, but you know, have them be your what we call brand ambassadors, and maybe even get them involved in your business. They can even co-design product, or ask them what they would like to, you know, engage in conversations. Like, what are they looking for? What do they want? And then alter your buy to kind of match what your customers want. And those loyal customers, if you ask them those sort of things, they get even more loyal because they feel like they're a valued part of your business. So with the JO Accelerator, you know, I'm actually available to visit stores, whether online or in person, depending where they are. And I can very quickly, you know, within minutes, just give you my opinion about how you can improve your store. So basically, I really look forward to seeing your stores, whether it's online or offline, and helping you make your stores the best that they can be. All right, so now over to you, David.
Thank you, John. I want to talk about accelerating your growth. This is about personal ambition, business goals, learning, building and measuring, and keep repeating. So first, when you're investing your time and effort in building out your business, it's important to keep grounded around what you personally are trying to achieve from this. So it's about your personal ambition. What change do you want to make and why? What keeps you motivated? Doing things when you don't want to and reminding you why you're doing this. It's important to have a support system in place through this process. This is your family, your team, people there to help you and respond to your questions. Choose to be accountable to yourself, your family, your colleagues, your customers, your community, and to the plan. The next, business goals. What does your business need to achieve for you to achieve your personal ambition? The business is a tool to achieving that ambition. So remember, when working on the business, it's that ultimate personal ambition that you're trying to achieve. And that's why you're putting in that effort and investing the time and sweat. So be prepared to work on your business, to make it more effective, to make your chances of achieving your ambition better. Have a vision for your business, what you need to build. Set a long-term goal and a roadmap for getting there with clear milestones that make sense to you. Set goals for 3 years out, for 1 year out, for the next quarter and the next month. Keep them achievable and definitely time-bound and measurable, so you know when you've reached your goals. So keep up momentum. And this is where the cycle of learning, building, and measuring is important. So learning. Know where you're starting out today, where your business is, the as is. And then get ideas for how you can move from today to the next goal. You set a 1 month out goal or a 1 quarter out goal. This is the to be. In thinking about those ideas, be inquisitive. Learn about new ideas from all sorts of sources, from books, from events, from the internet, from our high street assistant, Joe. Also, learn new skills by opening up your mind and your imagination to new things. You'll find new ideas or different ways of looking at old ideas. Share your experiences and challenges with other business owners and learn to understand alternative perspectives, which again may trigger new ways of thinking about changing your business. Talk with experts. You have lots of experts on this webinar today, experts in shop design, customer experience, marketing, finance, opening new stores. If you have questions or need help, remember, ask Joe. Building. This is about experimenting and exploring, taking small steps. When you're implementing something, have an expectation for how doing that thing will impact your business. Set a target, make it measurable so you know whether or not you've achieved it. Once you've implemented the change, act on the results. If it works, double down. If not, switch to something else. Focus on doing what you enjoy and what you feel good at. Find ways to get someone else to do the rest. Learn new skills to find new things you enjoy and feel good at. Remember, take on new challenges when you're ready for them. That could be improving your profitability, growing, expanding, taking on new opportunities. Measure. Know the impact achieved by what you do. Measure before you start and measure after implementing your idea. Know whether your expectation, your target, has been met. If so, start addressing the next goal. If not, understand why not and try something different, a different experiment. Could be how you do something or what you do. Make sure you have systems in place to measure the performance and impact. Have an up-to-date single view of your business. Have good data. Have KPIs which are suitable for your business and goals, and metrics that drive those KPIs, that make up the KPIs. If all the numbers and the analysis are a little scary, a little intimidating, learn how to handle the numbers, get used to them, or have someone you trust to interpret the numbers for you. Key is, did you achieve your goal? If not, why not? And if so, what's next? Keep repeating. Keep learning from how implementing the ideas worked out. Keep building. Double down or switch to something different, or move on to the next goal. Keep measuring and celebrate goals when you achieve them. Remember, working on your business is about how you realize your personal ambition. Now, over to you, Roya.
Welcome, Roya.
Hello, sorry. Thank you very much for that, David. And I'm Roya Cride. So I've been working with businesses who have been growing for many, many years and helping them access funding and get funding ready. Continuing from what David was saying around being on top of the business and your goals, to start looking at the funding landscape, which I'm sure you're all aware has kind of grown massively the last few years with all the new products that have come out, some of them supported government programs as well. It's going to be really important to have breakdown of where your business is at the moment. So what's the business stage? Where are you with your goals? Are you using on top of your financials and the data to understand what type of funding is going to be right for your business at this moment? So whether it's for short term or more strategic, mid to long term. And then to start looking at what the options might be. So we've got three key options. There's grants, there's loans, debt loans, or there's investors' equity. So which one is going to be the right one for you now or going forward, or perhaps even a combination? The other tip I always give to businesses is always to remember that the funding suppliers for each of those are going to be looking at, they will have their own KPIs. Some might be similar, but some will be quite different. So what are the funding suppliers going to be looking at? What are they going to be looking for? So if you're going for a grant, a government grant, what's going to be the key KPIs? Is it going to be about jobs and turnover? In comparison, if you're going to a bank, who are going to be looking at primarily if you're going to be able to repay those loans. So those are the key fundamentals to think about, and make sure that you're speaking their language. So I'm going to do a quick whistle-stop tour of each of these three areas for you. So let's start off with grants. So yes, there are grants out there. I know sometimes it can be confusing to understand what there is and what there isn't. Many of them will come perhaps from your local councils, others will be from other organisations. But there's local grants in some, depending where you're based, they could be local grants. National grants, there's national grants that are supporting you around that whole environmental piece. R&D, there's grants that help you towards upskilling, so leadership and development. There's grants out there to help you with digital adaptation, so if you're looking to update your CRM system or accounting system, for example. And most of these grants are going to require you to pull together or update your business plan. They're going to want to have a look at cash flow forecast and P&L, and they're going to want to see your growth project threaded throughout all these documents and documentations. And it's going to be really important for you to look at the guidelines and get the support, make sure what can be included and what can't. There are some local grants out there that are also the last of the European funding at the moment. So I would say to you, definitely make sure that you find out what those are. A lot of those grants are match funded, which means that you can therefore use loans or investors' equity and business angels to match fund those, or your own cash. So if you've got your own cash already in the business, then you can use those as well. Let's jump to loans or debt finance. So this area has really grown massively the last few years with lockdown, the launch of the bounce back loans, which many of you, I'm sure, took on board, to CBILS, to recovery loan scheme, and the latest version of recovery loan scheme, which was launched a couple of months ago in the summer. What that's meant is that a lot more small businesses that wouldn't normally have come out to access external finance have, and they're now looking to build on that going forward. What that's also meant is a massive growth in alternative lenders rather than the kind of key high street banks that you may be familiar with. And the benefit for businesses for that is that there's been a lot of new products that have come on board, particularly actually for the retail, leisure and hospitality sector. So the type of debt finance can be anything from a kind of typical fixed term loan to products that offer that more short term gap filling. So for example, if it's short term for cash flow, to buy stock or materials, and different payment options going forward. So it could be that you are looking to buy products or materials for the business, and once you start selling those, then you can start paying back as they're sold back to the lender. As I mentioned, there's also the new version of the recovery loan scheme, but most of the loans that are out there now will require some kind of personal guarantee. If they don't, then generally the interest rates are going to be a lot higher. There's, of course, other forms of debt finance as well. I haven't got time to go into those in too much detail now, but very happy to go into more detail at another time. But things like asset finance and invoice finance. For those of you that have been trading for 3 years or less, there's also the startup loan. So and again, that's government backed, and I would most definitely recommend that you have a look at that. And then bear in mind, around most of the lenders will be looking at management accounts. They'll want to see your forecasting, and they'll also want to see bank statements. So again, think about what is it that they want to see. Their KPIs are going to be about, can this business repay? Have they got a plan B? How can they service the debt? Jumping quickly to investors, the last piece is around equity. So this is generally a larger sum of money that's invested in a business for a return of shares or options. It's great if you're looking for scaling up much faster and you need a larger injection of cash. However, be aware that obviously you're giving away shares and also potentially losing some control over the business. For that early stage, there is tax relief out there for investors, so that's something that you can utilise. And the three key areas in equity and investment is going to be business angels, who tend to be individual high net worth high net worth people who are looking to invest perhaps in a business in a sector that they're particularly interested in, and will generally want to have some input into the business. Or it could be venture capitalists who are looking to, generally that tends to be if they're looking to invest over that $500,000, so $500,000 to 1 million or over 1 million. So that again, lots of there will be some tax incentives for them there as well. Or private equity, which generally is for the more established business. The other two tend to be very much for either pre-start or startup. So the final message I'm going to leave with you is either of those three, make sure that first and foremost,
Well, thank you, Roya. And thank you, Paul. Thank you, Laura, Nilsson, Julie, John, and David. No two businesses are the same, but there are some common rules for success on the high street that can accelerate your path to profit growth and new funding. The high street is changing faster than ever, and it seems like every week at the moment there's a new crisis dominating the news. It certainly isn't easy building great businesses on the high street, but we believe the future will be defined by an army of local independents with the space, support, and funding they need to unlock their potential. Here at JO by SaveTheHighStreet.org, we exist to ensure this becomes the reality by making it easier for entrepreneurs like you to succeed every step of the way. We've covered a lot of ground today, but beyond this online event, we're still here to help. Really on everything we've talked about. I've listened to everyone's talks today and thought, you know, there's a whole range of insights, and it feels like we've covered a real breadth of things. But, you know, when you start to look at the depth of work, you know, that we're covering with other businesses, we're still just scratching the surface today. If you need help with anything, anytime, you can ask JO on WhatsApp or online. For those on the JO Accelerator, we'll be working much more closely with you. We'll be focused around taking the weight off you and speeding up your path to profit growth and funding this year. And for some businesses on what we call the JO Manager, we'll even be running a part of your business. If it's the launch of a new store, or in some cases, people are interested in really handing over a part of their business that isn't what they really want to focus on, so they can focus on what they do best. Regardless of what level you're looking at here, we're here to help. And I really want to give a big thank you to everyone who's invested the time today to watch this either live or recorded. You know, I appreciate that everyone watching this is busy, and hopefully you found this insightful. My goal for these events is always that you come away with a notebook full of ideas and a bit more sort of positive inspiration to get moving straight after the event, and a bit of clarity about what you can do next. So as I talked about early on, this week's a big week for us because we're launching the next wave of the accelerator on JO. And you can find out more at joinjo.com/accelerator.